Hello everyone, Attack Power here with another deck building review building thing here with first Fallschirmjager. If you guys enjoy these, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and make sure to check out the Patreon down below. And for those who are already on it, thank you so much. It really means a lot. Your support goes a long way. So let's dive right in here. For those who don't know, of course, Fallschirmjager's got a massive buff recently and are now, every Fallschirmjager division is now really much back on the menu. Fourth got more disgusting to the point of like I actually kind of rage quit when I see it. Third Fallschirmjager went from like C tier to 100% A tier, and first Fallschirmjager went from like solid, very much C tier to maybe B-ish tier. I'll put it in a good, nice B-ish tier there. So let's go over this. So I actually have two builds of this today, so make sure to check out if you want to see Balance and Maverick builds of this, because this deck can kind of go both ways. I definitely see the argument for doing it Maverick, but you know me, I like to build things balanced, so that's why I built it balanced. But I built a Maverick one too because I definitely understand that way might be the more, like, this deck might lean a little bit more towards Maverick in terms of the tools it has. It doesn't go long super well, but I just, you know, that's just my preference. So let's dive in here. The Recon tab, pretty solid overall. You get Sharpshooters, which are always really nice. You get these Abwehrs, again, the Fallschirmpanzer Abwehrs here with the Panzerschreck and stuff. These are phenomenal. We saw them in third Fallschirmjager as well. These are great. They can be your bazooka units. Unfortunately, you get one card of Sharpshooters, although you don't need many with the infantry now carrying snipers. If you want more of my reactions to the actual Fallschirmjagers themselves, like the infantry units, go check out my third Fallschirmjager deck build, because I really kind of go over the units in depth. I'm not going to go deep into the individual Fallschirmjagers here, but hopping over into the infantry tab, there's not a lot of ways to build this. I will say that. Third Fallschirmjager had a lot of options. First Fallschirmjager really doesn't. You take what you get, and that's about all you get. So the chaff, the filler of this deck is the Grenadier MG42, and this is one of the, this was one of the better things about first Fallschirmjager over third, was that you have a 20-point unit that you could work with in every phase. And it's an MG42 Grenadier, so it's like actually not completely useless. It's okay for 20 points to get an MG42. We've seen that be good in the past, and it's okay here. Now, the difference now is that third Fallschirmjager got a 20-point unit that's exactly like this, just better, significantly better. Comes with AT, comes with more men. It's just significantly better. So that advantage is now completely gone. And first still has it, though. I mean, it still has the option of having these 20-point Grenadier MG42s, which is certainly nice. A phase, though, does have a phenomenal CQC unit. So third obviously struggles mightily with CQC. First Fallschirmjager, a little less so, mainly because of this unit right here, the Stolstrup, the Fallschirm Stolstrup here. This is a phenomenal unit. 2 Berettas, 3 FG42s, a Bren, and a Molotov. Got Raider trait, Shock trait. It's actually very, very good. This unit slaps hard in CQC. It puts out a lot of damage with the 3 FG42s. Slap on 2 Berettas just because, and of course we're tossing a Molly, and the Bren is, the Bren's just kind of there. But yeah, this unit, very, very good. Unfortunately, the availability curve kind of sucks. Like if it was 612 and not 6.9, I would 100% want to bring this actually in B for the bounce build, because I'm not pushing hard in A. I'd prefer to have more of this kind of unit because it is so good. But unfortunately, it's got a kind of crappy availability curve, so it's coming in A to help us survive A phase. Then we have one of our 2 cards of Fallschirmjager FG42s, the not new and improved, but return to its original glory here, Fallschirmjager FG42. We have one of these in A, and then the other one is in C to, of course, let us go long. These guys are beyond phenomenal. Like I said, if you want my full breakdown of thoughts on these guys, go check out the third Fallschirmjager deck building video. Then we have the Fallschirm Pioneer here in B. I'm not a fan of these. These are awful because they get rid of CQC firepower for rifles, which is the last thing you want in a CQC unit. But you are still kind of short on CQC in this deck. Better than third, but not much better. So you still kind of have to take these. They're a necessary evil. And of course, they're only 20 points, which makes it a little less crappy. Fallschirm Pioneer, fortunately, you only get one of these, but these guys are hyper efficient, very, very good at 30 points as infantry squads. As actual grenade throwers, not great, because you're basically paying a 5-point premium over a regular Pioneer to have these. But, they do better at long range anyway, so it's a plus-minus sort of thing. Then you have one card of the Fallschirmjager ZF, the new sniper unit for Fallschirmjagers. These guys are absolutely busted. They're so good. Having to deal with these all around the map is just disgusting. And then double MG42 just puts out so much damage. So these guys are phenomenal. I'm bringing them in B, so I get lots of them over the game. So yeah, that's the infantry tab. I think it does all right. You get the 20-point grenadiers to survive A phase, along with the Stolztrupp to help you actually win CQC fights in A phase. And then the Fallschirmjager FG42s allow you to call in some elite units early and actually really have them like chunk and do a lot of damage. So yeah, that's how I got it built. There's not a lot of other options. I don't think the Legionnaire is worth it. I would prefer just play 5 points more for an MG42, which is, you know, a gabillion times better than a DP28. The only other option is to add more grenadiers, but I don't really think it's necessary because once you start working into your Fallschirmjagers, it takes a lot longer to like spend through your deck because of course the infantry are very expensive. Tank tab, I mean, they have this 4th point slot, and of course there's no more tanks there. Basically just doing a card of tigers in each phase with a single vet. Gives you 12 tigers. That's a lot of tigers to play with. It allows you to be a little aggressive with them and take some chances with them that you shouldn't usually take because of course you have no other armor at all, which is really rough. So you're often at times going to be forced to kind of put these into positions that you wouldn't want to put tigers in normally, but because of your complete lack of vehicular strength, otherwise it ends up being kind of necessary. I shouldn't say complete. There's one other unit, but it's not. There's 2-ish other units, but they're not helping you at CQC. Support tab, really solid here. We do get the LG42, which is a phenomenal support gun here. And yeah, I mean, I'm taking it in B, so I get 6 of them instead of 3. In A phase, we're taking the MG42s. Unfortunately, you can't vet them, but I still think personally the MG42 is that much better than the MG34 that it is worth taking it unvetted and spending that 5 extra points. I do think that is worth it. You can also go with the Maxim and spam those around. You get 8 of them for only 20 points, but I'm not. I want to like 20-point machine guns, but a lot of times they just, the disheartened ones really don't hold up, in my opinion. Anytime they get into any sort of fight with anything, they get forced off. So they're really only good between 750 and 1,000 meter range because infantry can't fire back. But outside of that, they're pretty trashy. Commander. Supply, I couldn't fit the IG-18s, kind of wanted to, but there really was no space in my build. You can definitely take something out that you don't like so much and force these in. It's not a terrible, maybe you don't need so many tigers or something, and you can force in the IG-18s. That could definitely be useful. Your anti-tank tab is a really interesting mix of stuff. So you have the PaK 177 47mm, the Breda gun. This is phenomenal. I would never leave these at home because you need them to kill light armor because you just don't have a lot of other good ways to do it. So bringing those in A with the horseshoes, of course, to get them zipped in. Then our PaK 40 card can only come in A, and I would never vet a PaK 40. They die pretty often, and they still are really effective at unvetted. You know, they're still very effective at unvet, no vet at all. Then you get this card of Jagdpanzer 4s. I love Jagdpanzer 4s. I think these are phenomenal. That's why I'm not vetting them because you just need the few tanks you get. You kind of need them. The few tanks that are really tanks, you actually kind of need them. So yeah, bring that in A, of course. Then the Poopchin, I'm bringing in B. They recently nerfed its availability, but in B you still get a good number of them. Yeah, these are phenomenal. I want to have them all over the place. That's why I'm bringing them in B. And then I'm bringing the card of PaK 43s. They're almost like my second card of PaK 40s. Of course, they cost a lot more. They do a lot more damage, but yeah, you kind of need it though because any sort of super heavy tank you run into, you have no other answers in this deck at all. So this is kind of that. Then there is the Nashorn. Some people might hate me for not bringing the Nashorn. I don't like Nashorns. I don't think they're good, especially unvetted like this. So I just don't think they're necessary. You have the Tigers for 2K stuff. You have the PaK 43s that the opponent actually deploys like super heavy tanks. I just don't find the Nashorn to do a very good job of anything. The only other divisions it's in 78 Sturm, and you can kind of spam them there, and that makes them okay because you can just keep sending more so they die. Big whoop, I'll bring another one in. With only 2 of them, I just don't see the point, especially when you have Tigers that can do the exact same thing, basically. I don't need another 2K armor unit that doesn't do any HE damage sitting way back doing nothing. Which is why I'm not bringing them. Panzerschrecks I'm not bringing because you have the Abwehrs in the Recon tab, so I didn't think they were super necessary, and I preferred the other tools here over that. Anti-air tab. This one, I mean, it's solid. It's not anything like over the moon good, but it is solid. You get the Flak 36s, which you definitely need because it gives you more of that 2K fun. I definitely think you should be taking these in this deck to give you some more static 2K ability. And then the SDKs that have 7.2s, not amazing, but they do have a better veterancy curve now. So yeah, I mean, they're a necessary evil. You're not going to take these 20 mils over them because 20 mils are even more embarrassing than the 7.2s. So yeah, I mean, you could probably take a flak out if you wanted and, I don't know, find 2 points somewhere, but there's not a lot of 2-point slots left. That's the issue. You can get more Artie, I guess. Artie tab, bring in the leader, of course. These are great. Then, of course, you do not leave the radio mortars at home. They are phenomenal. You take them always. They are amazing. And then finally, rounding out, we finally got a card of nice heavy Artie here in the 149s. It's not a good heavy Artie card. Let me make sure that's very clear. This thing is not very good. But it does give you some actual counter battery ability, or even if you're playing against a division that doesn't have much Artie themselves, you actually can kind of bully a little bit with this. I think they're a little better than the Gebs. Although you get a lot more Gebs, these are really, really bad with the 4 rounds a minute. Even on, single vet, they barely get to 5 rounds with the double vet, and then at that point you lose all the availability anyway. You might as well just go with the big gun at that point. Yeah, these are really not good. They're a necessary evil in these Fallschirmjager divisions, but I would pick anything above them, and that's why I'm picking this. Air tab. Definitely have some fun tools here. You get the Sagittario, which is an incredible fighter. This thing is fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm taking it 1 vet, kills things a little bit faster that way, is apparently a little bit less vulnerable to AA, but yeah, I just don't think I need 4 of them. 3 is plenty, and if they can kill a little bit faster because of that, it's worth it. Then I'm bringing the ME410 with the 8-kilogram bomb, the 850-kilogram bombs here. Only 95 points, okay availability. They are nice and zippy at 570 kilometers an hour, and they have medium resilience, which means they can, a lot of times they can actually stay away from like Soviet fighters that tend to be very slow and in this lower range, and also some Axis fighters you can stay away from. Some of the slower, heavier BF-109, G6R6s and stuff, you can stay away from those like almost completely. So this unit, I think, does fine. The 850-kilogram bombs, when on a fighter bomber like this, do a solid job of killing stuff. If they're in like a big bomber, they're terrible, but like this, in this form, they're fine. B phase, we're going with the Ju-88 with the 4 250-kilogram bombs. Because of price, I prefer the heavier one, but due to the price being 30 points cheaper, the 4 250s usually does what you need them to do, but I wouldn't fault anyone for bringing this one instead. And then finally, C phase, we're bringing a card of the ME410s with the heavier bomb loadout because they have lower availability. And yeah, actually, now I'm looking at this, I don't like that. I'm going to go with the ME410s in B and the heavier Ju-88s in C. Yes, I like that better. The other things here that I'm not taking, the Ju-88s with the 50-kilogram bombs, awful. They're just bad. Don't take them. Like I said, these are perfectly usable if you want more bombers. The BF-109 G6R6 is basically a worse version of the Sagittario. It's 40 kilometers an hour slower. It's got worse agility. Its loadout is exactly the same otherwise, so it's just not worth... It's not... I don't know why you would ever take this. Like, I really don't, because you have the freaking Sagittario instead. BF-109 with the rockets. Sometimes these look awesome, and other times they're just embarrassingly bad. It's up to you to determine whether that's for you or not. 110 points is a lot, especially for a bad resilience plane that definitely is like made of paper. This dies very easily. The BF-109 with the 450s, not enough. This bomb loadout is way too small. It does not consistently kill things, and this unit gets blanked about 5 minutes into the game. The second the opponent buys a piece of AA, this unit no longer does anything, unless it's specifically a 20 mil. Then it might still do something, but it'll probably still die on the way around. ME410, it doesn't have enough guns to be good at ground strafing, and it's a terrible fighter, so never take it. And the CR42 for 40 points. This is a lot for a plane that has very bad resilience and dies easily. Yeah, I just don't see it. It's got low availability. I don't see this being worth it. If it had bad agility, bad resilience, and maybe 35 points, I'd say, okay, let's do it. But not at this force level. So that's the balance build. Take a picture in your mind of it, so when we hop over here to the Maverick build, it makes sense what the changes are. Over we go. There we go. For Mav. Okay, so we're just going to overview this one. We're not going to like zoom in really. The big thing to notice is a lot more veterancy. You can see I'm double vetting the Tigers in B. I still have the one card in A because you don't get that many more points in A, so you shouldn't be like going nuts in A phase in a Maverick deck. You don't actually get many more points than balance. But yeah, the double vet Tigers in B, they should perform a whole lot better at that double vet. We can really quick see what that does. Really, you're going to be like this? My goodness gracious. There. So now they're firing 7 rounds a minute, which is finally like a respectable fire rate, similar to like a unvetted Panzer IV. The recon tab is identical. The infantry tab here, you can see I've moved the Fallschirmjager Pioneers to the Fallschirm Pioneers to A, and I mean that's a big change there. Again, you don't have that many more points in A than you did before. This is just adding a little bit more firepower here in A. B phase, we're adding a Grenadier MG42 squad, and we're double vetting the Jaeger ZFs and the Jaeger FG42s. Still bringing the Sturm Pioneers here as well. So yeah, that gives them a lot more killing power. Support tab, the IG-18 is in here. I have worked it in this time. LG-42 still in B phase. In the AT tab, we now double vetted the PaK 177s. The Poopchins have been moved to A along with the PaK 40s, and we have the Jagdpanzer IV. We're leaving the PaK 43 and the Nashorn at home. Our goal is that we're aggressive enough that it doesn't matter if the opponent calls a super heavy tank in. It just does, whatever. Good luck. We'll smoke it off or something instead in this version. Took out one of the Flak 88s. And just left the one in B with 1 vet, so it's actually semi-useful. Still have the SDK of Zeds. RE tab is similar, and the air tab has been pared down a little bit. Heavy bomber moved into B phase here with the ME-410 still there and the Sagittario. So just like a pretty big pare down of infantry. The Grenadier MG42s are both for just grabbing ground and spamming, and for getting us through C phase. You know, if we have a couple more minutes, we got to hold through C phase. This allows me to continue to spam infantry. I don't want to put it in C, though, because there is definitely use for these in B, where I don't want to necessarily call in one of these super heavy, like expensive guys, but I need to like hold a dumb flag or something. These are probably out by this point by B phase, so I do not want to be like running a Fallschirmjager out into the open to try to capture a random flag or something, and I don't have that much CQC, so I can't be wasting Sturm Pioneers on that. So instead, we just bring that Grenadier squad. So yeah, that's my build of the Maverick version here of First Fallschirmjager. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider supporting over on Patreon. Thank you to my current Patreon supporters. You help make the channel run and continue to give value to everyone who watches. Thanks a bunch, guys, and have a fantastic day.